this morning. I'm super excited because I'm back on the coast. Plan is walk through these beautiful old woodlands, following a little estuary along the coast. Maybe I'll get some nice images of the forest. Maybe we'll get some nice images of the shore. Who knows, but I'm just excited to be here. I'm super excited to be out here this morning for a couple of reasons. The first being that although it's cold and most of the trees have lost all their leaves and color, this forest is quite coniferous. So there's lots of greens, lots of green moss even still. So there's lots of interest. The sun's still pretty low in the sky, so there's little patches of light shining in and out. And we're close to the coast, which I haven't been to the ocean in a while. So I'm looking forward to this. Because even though I only live an hour from the ocean, it's the farthest I've ever been from the ocean. And I don't like not seeing it as much as I used to. Surely there will be a picture here somewhere. I'll take out the camera and see what I can see. So I've come out at this first clearing and it's very nice to look at. It's very pleasing. Lots of nice, interesting subjects, but I'm a little concerned about the photography potentials. That being said, there's lots of nice textures in the mud flats and the curving river with some nice light. So I have spotted something I think that'll be quite nice. So what I've lined up is a composition with this brush in front of me. Some of them are lit up nicely by the sun and some are in shadows, which I think is nice and adds some contrast. There's also a little bit of a pine or spruce tree poking out with some green needles. And then you can follow the S pattern in the river. Another thing I like is that I kind of got rid of the sky. You can't see the sky at all in the frame, but what you can see is the reflection of the trees in the background in the water. So I'm shooting at a 1/100th of a second, f10, ISO 160, and I think it's a good image to start the morning. I made a mistake I've never made before. I just left my tripod where I was, and now I have to go back and get it. That could have been an expensive mistake that I'm glad I realized before I was too far away. There you are, right where I left you. Time to go back to the woods. This is a really nice spot. I hope I can find some nice images. And if I don't, I'll just have to live with it. It's nice to be out though. There's lots of nice light coming through these trees, but I haven't seen a subject jumping out to me amongst them yet. No lone trees, no unique colors. So I'm sure there's something in these woods here that is worth taking an image. I just have to come across it. I've stumbled across a woodland scene that I think is at the very least worth exploring. I always see those images of people with like birch trees being backlit and they're all just like linear and straight and they always look super, super cool. I've never come across anything like that I think works, but this could be an option. Lots of straight trees and green moss. So if I get low enough and shoot into the forest, it might kind of create a nice ethereal scene. Well, in the 10 seconds it took me to film that last talking head piece and set up my camera, the light has totally changed. So there's less speckled light shooting through the scene. But I think it still works because there's some nice warm light sort of in the background kind of bleeding into the forest. And the way I have it framed up is there's one prominent stump tree in the foreground. Well, actually it's more in the midground. And it's surrounded by nice fluffy green moss that looks like little rolling hills through the scene. And then just around it, there's linear trees and a little bit of mess and noise. But I think the tree dead center kind of anchors the scene and it's just surrounded by nice looking moss. So I'm shooting at 1/4 of a second, f13, ISO 160. And it's pretty good. I wish I was better at woodland photography, but the only way to get better is to try. It's not the most picturesque, beautiful beach, and I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a power generator over there, a huge one. But it's quite nice. We have lots of boulders for some foreground subjects. There's nice calm water, some trees. Oh, surely there's an image around here somewhere. So the first thing that caught my attention when I came down to this beach was a pine tree just across the way on a stony beach that was being lit up with sort of trees and shadows behind it. And I'm just going to try and quickly grab a snapshot. I don't think it's going to be an amazing image, but it's relatively time sensitive as the sun's coming up in the sky, so I want to try and capture it. There's a loon. The last time I tried to get a picture of a loon, he flew away. I'm gonna put my lens on and hope that this guy sticks around for at least 5 minutes. We'll see what I can do. He's still here. He hasn't dove yet or flown away. Put the camera hopefully in the right enough settings and go to town. Where did he go? Oh, there he is. I've just cranked up all my settings. I've ISO 1000, which is probably too much, and 1/1000th of a second shutter speed. I just want one sharp image, but he's very far away. And my camera does not seem to be focusing at all on him. Actually, I think it's a lady on her. None of these are in focus. Gotta love Fujifilm autofocus. Good thing I stood up when I did, because the tide almost washed me away. Yeah, that was disappointing. Not a single one of those images was in focus, I don't think. It was very far away, so I will give my camera the benefit of the doubt, but that is a little bit disappointing. So I decided I want to take one more image from this beach, and it's going to be a little different than the images I normally capture. I tend to just go for clean landscapes and the likes, but I think I want to include the power station. And I think it's just nice contrast between, you know, this pretty rural, nice rugged area where we are, but then huge industry and sort of like the dichotomy of human nature. So that's what I'll try and do. I've also decided that this is a really lovely spot, but I think it'd be absolutely stunning at sunrise. Sorry, I can't see. I'm not wearing a ball cap and the sun's really bright. The sun rises just over here. So at sunrise, this place would just be, oh, wow, it'd be either A, lit up, which would be nice, B, could be cast in shadows and disappointing, but at the very least, there'd be nice pink clouds. So I think even at sunset, this would be a really lovely spot. So I may have to come back at a future date. My plan for the image is to somehow use these big dry boulders, these very kind of damp boulders, or even some submerged ones in the foreground, and then with the big smokestacks in the background. So hopefully I can find a composition that kind of showcases that. This will work super nicely. Oops. Leave my camera here so I don't forget where my composition was, and race against the tides to get my tripod so that I don't wash away my camera. Ah! So the plan for this is to get quite low behind these couple big boulders, and if I work fast enough before the tide comes in even more, which it is doing very rapidly as a consequence of being on the Bay of Fundy. It's always a race against the tides. There's a couple other little boulders in the water as well. I think it could frame up the power plant quite nicely. So I've been moving around, well, not much, but just moving my camera around a little bit to get a composition I'm happy with. And I've settled on this. The exposure is 1/400th of a second, f13, ISO 160. The power plant is basically top third right in the middle. And I think I might crop it as a square. And everything's just leading you out to the power plant. So there's the submerged rocks, the boulders in the foreground. Yeah, I think it just shows a little bit of contrast between nature and humanity. And I always find those images are quite interesting. And with that last image, I think it's time to end this video, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll probably leave a couple extra bonus images at the end. Let me know which image was your favorite, and I hope I see you on the next one. Till next time.